In today's interconnected world, money no longer respects borders. With a single click, funds travel across continents, opportunities arise in unexpected markets, and investors who are prepared can capture growth that others don't even see coming. And yet, while the world has gone global, many people still live financially trapped within the borders of their home country. They limit their savings to one bank, one currency, and one government system. That decision may feel safe, but in reality, it exposes them to unnecessary risks. This is where the power of offshore banking comes in. For many, the term offshore carries a mix of curiosity and suspicion. Movies and media often paint it as the secret playground of billionaires, politicians, or corporations hiding their fortunes in exotic islands. But let me set the record straight. Offshore banking is not about secrecy. It's about strategy. It's about giving your wealth flexibility, resilience, and freedom in a world that changes faster than ever. Think about it this way. As an investor, you already understand the principle of diversification. You don't put every dollar into one stock, because you know that if it collapses, you're wiped out. You spread your investments across sectors, across asset classes, sometimes even across time horizons. Why? Because diversification reduces risk and increases the probability of long-term success. But here's the blind spot. Many investors forget to diversify where their cash is held. They may own international stocks, they may even own real estate abroad, but if all their liquid capital is sitting in a single bank account back home, they're still exposed to what's called sovereign risk. Sovereign risk is the possibility that your government or your local financial system could change the rules overnight. History is full of examples. Sudden currency devaluations that cut savings in half, new capital controls that prevent people from sending money abroad, banking crises where withdrawals were limited, and in extreme cases, entire systems collapsing. If all your money is at home, you are at the mercy of those events. But with an offshore account, you create a safety net. It is like building an emergency exit for your wealth, a way to ensure that no matter what happens, domestically, part of your capital remains safe, liquid, and available internationally. Even if you live in a stable, developed country today, stability is never guaranteed forever. Political cycles shift, debt levels grow, and central banks manipulate interest rates in ways that can silently erode your savings. Offshore banking is not about expecting the worst. It is about preparing intelligently so that no matter what happens, you have options. The first major advantage is currency diversification. Imagine holding your savings in US dollars, British pounds, and Swiss francs simultaneously within the same account. If one currency weakens, you're not left vulnerable. You've already spread your risk. This is something domestic accounts rarely allow, but offshore accounts make standard. The second advantage is global investment access. Some offshore banks offer direct platforms to invest in international funds, bonds, and equities that are not available locally. For example, you may gain access to structured products in Switzerland, real estate investment trusts in Singapore, or specialized funds in Luxembourg. While the average saver is limited to what local banks sell them, you'd have the opportunity to step onto a global stage. The third advantage is protection from domestic risks. During times of political or economic instability, governments often impose restrictions that affect ordinary citizens first, freezing accounts, limiting transfers, or taxing savings unexpectedly. By holding part of your assets offshore, you insulate yourself from unilateral changes. It's not about avoiding responsibility. It's about ensuring you always have a financial lifeline. Now, I know what you're thinking. But isn't offshore banking complicated? Isn't it only for millionaires? The truth is, it's far more accessible than most people realize. Many offshore banks welcome clients with initial deposits as low as a few $1,000s. The process usually involves 3 steps. First, you choose a jurisdiction that fits your goals. Second, you provide identification and proof of funds, just as you would in any local bank, since compliance rules are strict. And third, once your account is approved, you gain immediate access to a global financial system that operates beyond the limitations of your domestic market. Jurisdiction choice is critical. Each offshore center has its strengths. Switzerland, for example, offers legendary stability and a wide range of investment products. Singapore combines security with access to booming Asian markets. The Cayman Islands specialize in investor-friendly structures with strong privacy protections. Luxembourg is known for high-quality regulation and sophisticated fund offerings. The decision depends on whether your priority is asset protection, global access, or tax efficiency. And speaking of taxes, let's clear a common misconception. Offshore banking is not about tax evasion. Done legally, it's simply about placing your money where it is treated best, while fully complying with your home country's reporting rules. Transparency is now the global standard, and banks follow strict international agreements. The real advantage is not secrecy, it's flexibility. Imagine the sense of security knowing your wealth is not tied to one fragile system. Imagine the pride of accessing investment tools designed for international elites, now available to you. Imagine the freedom of knowing that your financial destiny is not dictated by a single government policy. Offshore banking is more than a tool, it's a mindset shift. It transforms you from a local saver into a global investor. This mindset shift is exactly what separates those who remain vulnerable from those who thrive in uncertain times. It's the difference between watching events unfold helplessly and navigating them with confidence. Offshore banking gives you options. Options mean freedom, and freedom is the ultimate currency in today's uncertain world. Before we continue, let me pause for a second. If what I am sharing with you right now resonates, if you feel the pull of becoming not just an investor, but a truly global investor, then I want you to take one small but powerful step. Subscribe to Investor School right now. On this channel, we break down the strategies the wealthy use in plain English, so you can apply them in your own journey. Don't miss the next lesson. Hit that subscribe button and join a community of forward-thinking investors. Now, what are the practical challenges? Offshore banking isn't instant. Banks are cautious, regulations are strict, and due diligence is thorough. You'll need to provide documents, passport copies, proof of address, source of income. Some banks may require in-person visits, although increasingly, digital onboarding is possible. Fees are often higher than local accounts. But remember, these are not obstacles, they are filters. The fact that not everyone is willing to go through the process is precisely why offshore accounts remain such a valuable advantage for those who do. Privacy is another point to understand. Offshore jurisdictions vary in how much confidentiality they offer. But even in the strictest systems, privacy is not about hiding, it's about protection. It's about shielding your wealth from opportunists, from legal predators, or from sudden policy shifts. Offshore accounts often provide stronger safeguards for account holders than domestic banks, because their entire reputation depends on trust and resilience. Offshore accounts can also help with generational wealth planning. By placing assets abroad, you may gain access to structures like offshore trusts or foundations that allow smoother inheritance processes, reduced exposure to estate taxes, and more control over how wealth is passed on. This is why wealthy families often think globally. They're not just protecting today, they're preparing for tomorrow. The key question is not whether offshore banking is powerful. It clearly is. The question is whether you will act. Most people won't. They'll hear about it, feel a spark of curiosity, maybe even excitement, but then hesitate. They'll tell themselves it's too complicated, or not for them, or something they'll look into later. And that hesitation is exactly why they stay stuck, financially exposed, while others quietly build resilience and freedom. Offshore banking is not about being rich first. It's about thinking rich. It is about adopting the mindset of people who refuse to let borders or governments dictate the limits of their financial future. The moment you take action, you separate yourself from the crowd. You start playing the global game. And in a world of endless uncertainty, that decision could be the most important investment you ever make. So here's my closing thought. Offshore banking is not about escaping. It's about expanding. It's not about running away. It's about reaching further. It's about placing your wealth in the best environments possible, protecting it from the worst, and positioning yourself for the opportunities that only global investors ever see. The question is simple. Do you want to live with limits, or do you want to live with options? If this message connected with you, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and of course subscribe to Investor School, because in our next lessons we'll dive even deeper into structures, strategies, and global opportunities that can transform the way you invest and protect your future. The journey begins with awareness, but it's completed through action. And your first action is to step beyond borders.